share. What is your crisp? Hello. So this video is gonna be just me speaking and sharing on the points that I'm working with and just verbalizing it and explaining it. And this is just gonna be all in real time. If there are people that are gonna bust into the room or talk, so be it. This is just a real-time moment. And one thing I did here also for this video is I put the camera so that's right here in terms of my eye level, because previously in my other vlogs the camera would be quite lower because I have a laptop. So right now I'm lifting my laptop and they would be usually on the table like this, and it would be like this. So it came from a perspective of being more below. Whereas if you were to perhaps meet me in real life or so, it would be more eye leveled, I suppose. Of course, unless you're shorter. I don't know. But it's just one of those things I think that might help give a better perspective, I suppose. And I'm not standing very close to the camera as I've done in past videos where I'm very close to it. And this is more about me speaking and sharing than anything. So for me, I'm in my chair that allows me to go back and forth. And yeah. So if you've been reading all my past blogs, I'm going to be touching on those blogs about my enunciation, pronunciation, speaking, while also sharing my most recent processes. Yes?
Did you take suggestion by mistake, no?
No. By all these different processes. And yeah. So what have been doing the last days and will be continuing to do for the next months and conceivably years and maybe even just the rest of my life, probably. You know, I guess things change when you age, but this is the point of me changing who I am on a physical level, in how I speak, in how I position myself, my head, my shoulders. Here in this chair, it's a bit, I guess it works like this. But what I've been working just since the last 24 hours, actually like 34 hours, since yesterday morning, is when I'm speaking to practice this voice where I kind of relax into my body and relax into my chest and kind of allow my vocal cords to just open up like this and speaking like this. And yes, I can speak much more loudly and I can speak much more rapidly if I want to. But it's more about, it's kind of like speaking from my chest and speaking from my body, like a sound that's very grounded and relaxed. And it is very relaxed. It's not very tense or anxious. And the cross-reference I've been working with is when I'm anxious and nervous, my voice doesn't sound like this. My body tenses up and then I speak something like this, where then it's like much more tighter and constricted and not relaxed and open. So like when it's relaxed and open, it's like this. When I'm much more nervous or anxious, it goes up like this, like more in my head and speaking from my head instead of entering, relaxing to my body, to my lungs, to my chest, to my body. And part of this, what allows this is also for me to be awake in my body, to be really in my body. And there's like a level of kind of like excitedness or like being awake in my body, that kind of flavor, where compare that to a very sleepy, tired behavior, experience, very sleepy flavor in my body, where that's the point I'm working with, where my past, in my days, since I was a kid even, there's this feeling of basically being, I was gonna say the word relax, but it's not like I'm relaxed into my body. I'm actually anxious in my body, and it's kind of like, well, how it was explained to me, the point of what's going on is so much physical stress in my body that I have this kind of then sleepiness. I'm trying to like bring it out for you on camera, where it's kind of like my eyes droop more, like I'm tired, I'm irritated, I'm annoyed, I'm like, but it's not like I try to feel that. It's kind of like I kind of accept and allow that is what is normal. Feel this way, and then it's like I then talk more like this, where it sounds more nasally, much more, I guess, watery, but also not really that relaxed comfortableness I was speaking before, but more like watery, airy, and like higher up in my head, and it's like, you know, my eyes, and it's like it's like I allow the state of all this anxiety and like pain from my past, and this stress from my past, from things that happened in the past, and expecting it to happen again, to repeat itself with people, especially in relationships, especially in past moments where with certain people things just didn't work out, and me not knowing what to do, and the anxiety and stress of that. And of course now I've had so much more experience now, where I've lived all these points and I've learned from it. I've written about it, and I am not who I was back then in terms of my naivety, my lack of experience, my innocence, where I just didn't know. And as well, didn't know how to approach a person, how to speak to them, to learn who they are before doing certain things, before, in a way, like me being very intimate and open, kind of like a child that wants to be friends with everyone, and facing that rejection each and every single time, and facing that resistance, and there's just so much anxiety and stress and nervousness that went along with that. And so it's really about letting go of the past and all these different moments and all these different points where I have to do it in a physical way, where physically in the moment, because I understand like every single moment of every single day for, let's say, 18 years, you know, years, some like a constant experience in my body, living this way, where it's then like a habit, is a way of being in my body, a way of acceptance and allowance, where within that feeling of feeling that watery and airy and that level of anxiety always becomes what is normal. And for example, if I wake up in the morning, that feeling of kind of wanting to lay in bed and just be there, kind of like my coping mechanism, where I feel all the stress, all the tiredness from the result of all the stress and strain and anxiety, and I want to support my body, but through resting, kind of, but without actually really changing at the source of just kind of being my body and just stopping the anxiety and nervousness and relax into my body, relax into my chest, relax into here, where I don't allow this anxiety or nervousness in this space, in this body at all, where truly the past is gone, no longer manifested here as my body, and how I speak, and how I hold myself in my stance, in my position. So that's what I've been working on recently. One of the next points that I wanted to work on, and this isn't to say I'm going to stop working on it, but I just been doing it more. I have, let's say, my plan set forward that I'm going to be living in my day. So it's kind of like, I'm living it. I'm like kind of almost like winding up a toy as wheels and just, okay, let it, we're going to go. This is the plan. I'm going to be applying this. And now, simultaneously, I'm looking at what else I can live in the moment simultaneously. So I'm working on multiple levels at once. And that's just the most effective way to approach it, because you're, in a way you could say, attacking the problem from multiple angles. But it's more like I'm supporting myself in multiple ways at once. And so the next thing I want to look at and integrating, kind of like getting familiar with it, is how it's shown to me to, when you walk into a room, it's like you're walking into your world. Like, this is my world. And here I am. I'm presenting myself as who I am. All my good things, all my strengths, all my bad things, all my weaknesses, all my reactions. Everything that I'm working with, it's here. Here I am. I'm here. I'm here for you to see. I'm here for you to interact with. I am here in the room. So there's that point there where if you compare that way of walking into a room and how you hold yourself to someone who's like hunched over and walking into a room, it's like it's not your room, it's not your space, it's not your world. You don't show yourself to the world, you don't show yourself to the world. You keep yourself to yourself. You hide all your bad, you hide all your good, you just keep it all in. So that's the dichotomy, the two sides that I'm working with, where I guess you can clearly see what I'm doing in the video here, and in my process I'm describing where I've been, what I'm working with now, and also where I want to be, and comparing those two so you can see the difference. Because sometimes you don't really know who you are, or like I didn't really am aware of my own experience of living as this sleepiness and this tiredness without someone else pointing it out to me, and me creating this contrast and describing where I want to be. It's the solution is that same point of pointing out like the perspective, allowing that self-reflection and seeing. That's how I can assist and support myself within me developing words, vocabulary that I use to describe my own experience for myself, words that purely serve me and could potentially support others. However, I'm doing it for me. Words that I can use to refer to what I'm calling like the sleepiness flavor versus being the awake flavor, where it's two different, we could say state of being or just how I am my body. Where one, it's obviously sleepy and what's normal and what has been my daily life, or accept, okay, well, this is me and this is what's normal. And then there's the new, which is being almost like kind of excited throughout my body, kind of awake, having access to expression, to movement, to action, where there's not that flavor of being like sleepy and tired and burdened and stressed, which is a very like the way I've been living it has been the normal, where I've been calling it, this is what yoga feels like, this is what it feels like to be me, and this is when I'm normal, and when I'm like this, I am good and I'm fine. So it's really redefining that normal into a new normal and really changing the past as what I've always been living as into something new. So it's really like changing it and how I perceive it and how I live in the moment and where I'm at in any moment within my body and within my voice. In addition to all of this, I've also been working on, before the day before yesterday, the last days before then, I've been working on different ways of speaking where it can be, where it's kind of like developing the muscles of my mouth and my speech and understanding how speech even works, which there's like a rhythm to speaking where if I want to be very clear or create a certain effect, the rate that I'm speaking at and saying at a consistent rhythm is part of that presentation, part of that effectiveness in speech, where that changes how you're perceived, which for me is going to be very useful in the business world or in the corporate world or pretty much anywhere out there where you're busy being seen and being heard, and your effectiveness in that is what matters. Whether you're able to speak clearly and relay the information clearly for others who need it, and that's usually just part of every single job. You're always communicating in some way. So that is a very important point for me to learn and integrate in addition to all of this. And all of it is a support. All of it is me focusing on me, my expression, my words, how I communicate. In addition, I'm going to be starting singing classes tomorrow, actually. And I'm going to be doing that once a week for half an hour. That is what I can afford. And as long as I'm consistent, it really doesn't matter, because I take the class, I apply what I've learned in that class for the whole week, and then I repeat the next week. And it's also a point of just getting comfortable and getting used to using my voice in different ways and developing that muscle and that muscle memory of that, and kind of understanding that. So for example, if I wanted to project my voice and what that would feel like, where I feel the muscles in my body more tensing and more activating, now that's something that I can work on, is working those muscles on purpose. And what I've been doing these past days is having fun with that, where I repeat something over and over, I sing a song over and over, I practice my pronunciation over and over to get it really sharp and really crisp and really clear. And part of playing with that and just working with the muscles, because it's all physical, and it is the physical memory, and yeah. I'm ready for this, and I want to change it. So it's just like how, in addition to all this, I am doing 20 minutes of exercise where I focus on parts of my body that I can see are weak or weakened or haven't been focused on recently, or needs that extra attention, whether it's something where I can feel like in my thighs, where my thighs connect with my pelvis, I can feel like a slight weakness there, so I work on that. Or I feel a slight weakness like in my shoulders, because I am working with keep my shoulders back, and to do this requires certain muscles, requires a certain openness with stretching. And so I focus on that. I use light weights because I am working sometimes with muscles that aren't that strong, and doesn't necessarily have to be. I don't do workouts where I get sore the next day, because I need my muscles for my everyday life. But I do the workouts where I know the next day I feel it stronger. I can see that it's not as where it was the day before. So I do give it its proper workout without overdoing it, because I'm not, let's say, in a rush. But I do need to walk it consistently. And that is something that I've been working on, where I wrote a blog on that, where I see is the key to patience is consistency. Just consistent moments of support, of expression, of taking the time. So that means like every day, like for example, 20 minutes of exercise. And it may be small, and however it may be, but it's consistent. And that's what yields results. And that's, let's say, the secret for patience, at least for me, where people have called me patient, but I definitely am not patient in all situations. And this consistency as a living word is what, for me, I see as being the key to access patience in these moments where it's like I have to be patient for years, where I really have to go so slow and work with a point for so long that was outside my level of patience, where I have patience for certain moments where it's much a shorter duration, where I do have some more level of, let's say, influence or control. But there are many situations where I do not have that level, where there's where I've had difficulty. I'm sure everyone can relate to that. And for me, the only, say, secret is just consistency in my actions. And within that, that is where my level of control is, where it is in small moments of actions that I can take, and just being satisfied and happy within that. So I'm just checking like all the different points that I've spoken and seeing if I didn't miss anything. If there's anything left saying. I mean, there are some things I could probably say, but I think it's probably good there. So I do this video as both a support for me and support for others, and cross-reference for me in terms of my speech and how I hold myself, and it's something that has to be walked through time. So this is one moment. This is one moment in time, and I'm going to be double checking this later in future videos, and then see how things progress. And we'll see. Okay. So, thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye.